everybody? We are back here with another update. I know I said yesterday I'm not going to make a video, but I decided to make it my potentially last video. In this one, we're going to be talking about who could see snow for January part 2. I know I made a video about this like a week ago, but I just want to make a refresh, re-update video on the pattern and pretty much everything we have talked about in the last few days, with how who could really see the snow for January. So let's get into this and let's get it going. So first area is actually going to be, I think, the Northeast going to see its first snow of January. I think that's going to be the area where they see the first flakes for the new year. So we're gonna just take this out into 20 20 hours or so. So you can tell we do have a late effect event that will occur. It's not a big late effect event. I feel like it's actually more not late effect. It's more just a system that's going to be crossing over the Great Lakes. You can tell some snow showers, snow bands with that in the Northeast throughout the day, the morning of the December 30th. But we continue, and that might try and make it into central PA, maybe eastern New Jersey, upstate New York, definitely getting it is probably so. Probably the more north you go, is going to see more of that snow to last. And even near the coast, like Maine, then that low moves out, so maybe a few inches up there. But then you left with some snow showers for the new year. But then we continue to go and we get another little system that's going to cause some more late effect snow, aka snow showers, snow bands. This only goes out 60 hours, but if we go with another model, is this one. It's a little bit, it's not directly like radar, but you could tell that snow band, and that could um definitely try and make it into central PA more. I think this is going to be more of a mid-Atlantic system. So we kind of got two waves coming. We got one for December 30th, and then the January 1st we could have maybe a snow band or two make it into eastern New Jersey, western Pennsylvania for your morning of the New Year's. Then that pretty much moves out and pretty much left with some mountain snow, but that is pretty much it with those two little disturbances across the Northeast. Everywhere else, really seeing nothing. Maybe snow showers back in the Rockies um, for the New Year's, but it's pretty much a quiet New Year. No one really seeing any precip, just very cold temperatures. In your New Year's temperature, you can tell even in the daytime, pretty much making it into the most up to maybe the mid 30s to upper 40s, even your southeast. So everywhere in blue, you're below 32 Fahrenheit. All right. In the greens, you could pick out your area. Like in the Northeast, you guys are going to be actually colder than normal. Definitely in your 30s, even as you get more north and west. Maybe not even making out of 30 degrees, maybe in the upper 20s. If you go in the mid Atlantic, in the 40s, not even near the 50s. So it's going to be a very cold start to the new year. Florida, though, dealing with your 60s and potentially even 70s in New Orleans, the Panhandle of Florida, southern Texas, but northern Texas, not even making out the temperature. Um, the 40s for the most part. But that's pretty much the temperatures for the New Year's and your forecast for the new year. But let's just take it out a little bit more of what we could expect. Um, this is another model. It ain't actually fully out. You can tell this is actually brand new, fresh data coming out. I'm probably not gonna wait for the GFS fresh data, but we can see what we can do. But there it is. That system for today. Nothing too much of some showers, maybe even some rain showers, and then that late effect, little clipper system. So pretty much this is part of this, and that's another low pressure right there. That's pretty much just going to be moving off to the south and east. And then you are going to get another clipper system that's going to march its way behind it. So the pattern for now with the northeast is pretty much like that. So everything's going to be coming from northeast. Um, but we continue. You can tell that happens, and maybe a reform of the low off the east coast. Nothing big. Maybe Maine seeing more of the impact with some moderate to heavy snow in some spots, like in the mountains, maybe up to maybe 1 to 3 inches. Then we add on another clipper system. Certain models like more, and certain models like less. Then the model actually just skips into 122. This is actually for January 2nd, but for January 1st, like I said, it's gonna be like nothing. We go to January 2nd. You can tell Southern Slider could bring some decent rain, maybe even some cold rain, and maybe if it could spin out um, snowflakes, some wet snowflakes on the northern end of the system. Sorry about that. But in the western United States, more system to come, heavy rain, heavy snow, very cold and warm temps. But yeah, that's pretty much it with um, that for now. All right. We go back, if we go to 0Z, because the model ain't fully out yet, pretty much thinking of the same thing, but this one had pretty much the system just move out. And yes, another cold front coming from the northeast, tight clipper, and maybe bringing some snow showers, some wet, cold rain, snow showers into the northeast for the third time, and just helps to invade that colder air that we've been talking about in the last few days. All right. But then you can tell another cold front with snow. So the pattern right now, at least into the first 5 days of January, is going to be a few clippers, cold fronts, pretty much I'll say clippers, and just lows that have not too much precip, but enough precip that it can coat the ground with snow. You know what I mean? But we go into the other models like the Canadian, and that's pretty much that system. Then we get another system, and yes, this one actually we need to watch out. Certain models like a little bit more. This one actually turns out to be a little bit more north, and the precip is more there, and it kind of turns into more of a nor'easter, more dipping in the jet stream, if you know what I mean. Right here, look, so you could kind of see these bars moving a little bit more like that. So there's that low. It's going to try and follow that right there. So we need to watch out with model runs if this does trend into a little nor'easter type storm. I doubt it. I think it's a little bit too late, but you never know. Then it brings some wet snow into northern Georgia, Tennessee, and the North Carolina mountains, maybe even into some of the valleys, and then into Delaware and stuff. But this is just misses as a pretty nice nor'easter. This was the last run. This is the new run of the Canadian. We'll see about later runs. But you tell snow of like a few hours later, and this thing was a little closer. We'll have a snow event in the northeast of a good 3 to 6 or so inches. But we need to see, and then you can tell another large storm going out. This one a snowstorm for the southeast and the south, but then that gets suppressed with some Arctic air. And wow, you're looking at a pretty nice start to January for all the snow lovers in most parts. All right, and the temperatures very cold. These temperatures nine times could be near single digits to below zero. So that pattern's looking very likely. If we look at the Canadian with the snow, nothing too much. Everyone, like I said in the last video, could be seeing up to 1 to 3 inches, But that southeast storm, don't and take that because that's probably going to change. I guarantee it. I tell you, one run. But if that Canadian was completely right, then wow, you guys will be talking about 3 to 6 inches in some spots, maybe up to 10 inches in the mountains, and even for the coastal areas of North Carolina, could be seeing up to 10 inches. So that's pretty crazy. A lot of those Clipper systems adds up into maybe a foot of snow into the Great Lakes. So keep that on watch. And then Western Mountain snow up to 2 to 4 feet of snow and probably up to 6 inches of rain. Actually, let's just look at the rainfall too. Why not? Yeah, rainfall up to about like 6 inches or so. For that southern system, pretty much 1 to 2 inches, maybe up to three in local spots. But that was the 0Z run. We'll have to wait for the new run. The GFS coming out. It's not actually fully out, but we looked at 6Z. Pretty nice here. There's that first system for today in the Northeast. Second Clipper, and then that southern pre. Yeah, that's actually the storm. Well, I have to actually keep on a watch because I didn't expect that. But the southern storm, a little bit more northern on the GFS, like the Canadian, and you get yourself a nice little mountain event, snow in Tennessee, North Carolina, and that actually becomes a bit of a nor'easter and brings some rain for the coastal and some snow in the interior, and boom, that moves out. But that was actually the last two runs, and it's trended to it. So we need to see, and that's the morning run. So we need to see if that trends into a little bit more of a nor'easter. Why that's a little bit more. Why is that a little bit more going up the East Coast now? It's because this is a little bit more amped. So we're about to look at this. Look at the ridge. So you can kind of see the ridge, right? That it dips. That's why the ridge actually dips and comes up the East Coast more like in a nor'easter path. So this is pretty much the pattern. So now it's some forcing for the low to actually go up the East Coast, and then that's why once it gets up here, it just zooms out like that. So we need to see with the runs if this does keep dipping more and this becomes more of a nor'easter type pattern, then we can actually have our first snow nor'easter to start out January. It's very unlikely. It's not unlikely, but I'm not expecting it to trend that way that much. Maybe just a little bit and maybe go back. And then you tell another system and this one into a nor'east, more like a rain slash snow missing. But last run was a way more south. So the pattern has turned into more of a nor'easter type pattern, at least in the short term. So we'll have to keep on a watch for that. Very cold temps. We go to total snow for the next 10 days. And boom. Southern system not really there, but the mountain snow very likely there. And up to maybe a foot of snow. Northeast dealing with those little systems. Up to 3 to 6 inches, but that late effect really not showing. And then the western actually shows up to maybe 5 to 6 feet of snow by the 240-hour out. That's 10 days. But a lot of mountain and western snow. Nothing too much in central United States, but we'll keep on a watch for that. Temperatures into at least 240 hours out. Nothing too bad, some cold temps, and we'll have to see. We'll have to take it storm by storm. If that storm trends more into a nor'easter, then we're probably gonna have to make some emergency videos on it. All right. So, and the euro, I will admit, the euro has been showing in the last few runs of a nor'easter. I'm not trying to hype this up because every single time I say, oh, now we're going to have a nor'easter, the trend goes back. That's what happened last year. So I'm not going to say anything because I like the snow and I'm hoping for it. But that's why I'm not so confident because last year it was just like this and then it died and nothing ever happened. So let's not risk it yet. So we're gonna go and boom. Clipper system, that's the first one. Second one, well, the Euro has it a little bit more amped. That's pretty good. But then that colder air and boom. That's that next system. The Euro is showing a actual nor'easter with that. A low 994 off the East Coast brings some snow, rain, and even some wind. That jet stream does dip a bit. And that is possible. And then you can tell some very cold air and strong winds with that. And then we get another nor'easter, but that gets a little bit more suppressed. But that's another southern system. So and the thing is, the Euro's been on this. All right, the last few runs, the Euro has trended. The Euro was the first one to trend with that first southern system to be more amped into like a nor'easter. So we're not ruling that out. If the models stay consistent for at least the next day or so, then I'm gonna maybe make a video on it. But no one has so far, just in case. All right. But there it is, that Clipper system, and then that southern storm, and it's a little bit more off the East Coast because it doesn't dip, but boom, you get a southern snowstorm and a northeast um snowstorm. So and then Clippers and boom, that second system more like that. But it's possible that we can at least get one nor'easter by the 10-day forecast, by the first 10 days of January. I'm not ruling it out. I'm saying it's possible. Up in the icon's completely out. So we're gonna take a look at the full icon now. There it is on that. Yeah, that storm doesn't really. It's been trending closer to the coast though. If you look at all the runs, it's been trending closer. So, and then that's the second system. So we'll have to see what happens with those two systems. First one totally going to be on the southern system, but that's pretty much your forecast. All right, that's pretty much it. That's all I got. Like I said, if you want to check out the PNA, AO, and EPO forecast in the stratosphere warming event, that's probably still going to happen, and that's just going to actually help for these nor'easters in that snow event to happen. So it is a possibility. And I'll probably make a graph showing the possibility, the confidence I feel with the models. I'll probably add that in the next video. So that is it. That's all I got, you guys. I am out. All right. See ya in the next video.